Hey there, this is Ryan Nickel, and welcome to another day in the life of a real estate investor with Bootstrap REI. So, man, I'm going through some information here. So, here's the thing: you got to be following up. You have to follow up, follow up, follow up. I have I'm actually going to see a house today at 1 o'clock, and this was a deal that I had under contract about a year ago, no, about 6 months ago, back in June, 8 months ago. And it just fell through. We couldn't get I couldn't find the right buyer for it. I was looking to wholesale it. It just wasn't the right time for them or for us, and so we let it go. And I followed up with her about a week ago, and then we had a flood evacuation, and nothing became of that. So I actually followed up with her again on Saturday, and just basically said, hey, did you sell your house, blah, 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 what's going on? And she contacted me. She's like, actually, you know what? We were going to meet with an appraiser and a real estate agent, but then with the evacuation and everything, we haven't been able to do that. I'm going to meet with him this week, but what do you got going on? And I said, well, I'm actually still interested in that property. I think I might have another buyer for it. And she knows I'm wholesaling it. She completely understands that, what I'm doing. And I said, would you be interested in having me come out there and take a look at it and see if we might be able to do this before you meet with a real estate agent, just, save you the headache of having them come and show the house and all that stuff. And she said, you know what, come on out. So we're going out there today at 1 o'clock. So that's why you follow up. And so what I decided to do was I have a lot of deals. Let me show you this. No, I don't want to show you that. I want to show you this. This is not what I want to show you either. Okay, yeah, this is the way you don't do this live. These are all so the red's dead deals, yellow are like maybes, possibilities. Yellows are I've spoken to them, or there's something going on there. But you can see I got deals. These are all leads that I've cultivated and have created myself over the last 18 months of being here. So whether driving for dollars or whatever. But what I wanted to show you was this. Check this out. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. I'm going to focus on my deals. Let me see if I can focus on here. So here's some of my dead deals. So I was like, okay, California, let's go ahead and go into Sacramento and Tomas area. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I remember this house. This was a house that I had under contract. And then the last minute, the guy canceled my contract and decided to rent it to somebody else. So I was like, that sucks. And that was about a year ago. It was actually almost exactly 1 year ago. So I just looked up that property and check it out. Sold. It sold last month on the 6th. And I'm like, what? How come I wasn't following up with this guy? And so I'm like, oh, you know what? Well, maybe he sold it to the renter that was there. Maybe that's what happened. And so I go down to it and I looked, and here's my Zillow, of course. Nope, he didn't sell it to the renter. There was an agent involved on this home. So agent provided list. So anyway, I looked here. I'm like, crap. Didn't follow up with that one, and I was like, you know what? That's my fault. Looking into everything that I have on this, yeah, I should totally have followed up with this guy. I mean, I remember my conversation with him. I have that in my notes here. I haven't actually looked at this yet. So this is why we do this live. Let's look here. See what we got. 100 Candela. Dang it. He's not on this particular one. I have another master sheet that I started. I started this one after my master sheet. So he's on my master one because I remember putting notes in there that I was going to follow up with him a year into the to the lease. And technically the year lease isn't up yet, but I should have done that 3 months before the year. Which if I would have then done that end of November, beginning of December, would have been able to. I mean, there might have not been anything there, but the fact of the matter is that I didn't follow up and the house got sold. You always wonder, what could have happened. It's the one that got away. But anyway, on a positive note, I'm out there looking at a house today. We are, and the guy that I'm going to go see this house with, he has a 1031. He has to identify by the end of this week, by Friday, he has to identify another one of his properties. So he's pretty anxious. He has some cash. He's not stupid. He's not going to overpay for a property. But if we can make this work and we can negotiate this today, I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to work something out that'll work, be a win-win for her. We had it under, if I remember right, I was looking for my contract on this as well. We had it for a pretty decent price. Just the buyer that was looking at buying it wanted me to get it for even lower because they're high end builders and contractors, and they wanted to do a lot of high-end stuff with this property, and there just wasn't enough margin. Two things we got going for us. Market has gone up, and this guy has a time frame. So anyway, this episode is going to be short and sweet. Do follow up. Follow up. You never know what's going to happen. Like I said, I showed you right now an example of one that I'm going to go see today because I followed up with her, and then showed you an example of one that I just found out right now, which is what prompted this episode, is that I realized that I didn't follow up with this particular seller, and he was out of state too. He was desperate. When I met him last year, he had flown from Texas to show this house, and if I were to do things differently, I learned a valuable lesson that day. When I was with him, he was flying back the following day and did not want to go back, or did not want to go back home to Texas and not have this home rented. And it was already a sweet deal as it was. Market rents for the property were about $1,600. He was willing to rent it to me for $1,400 and let me sublet it. And I said, no, I don't want to sublet. I don't want to commit myself to that. So let me market it out. Let me market it first, and then if I can get someone to commit to me, then I'll sublet it out. And he goes, okay, fine. It's worst case scenario, that's fine. But I'm going to show it to somebody else this afternoon because they already had scheduled something. And that other person came out, and because he was desperate and he wanted to go back home and he didn't want to rent it out, he rented it to her for $13. It was a chick. It was a girl. No, she's a chick. I use that word. So some chick came in and stole this property from me for $13.50 a month. And the valuable lesson that I learned from that particular experience was if a guy was willing to do that, to just tie it up. Because what I did was I immediately put it on Craigslist because I had a contract. I immediately had multiple phone calls. Multiple phone calls. It was a great home in a great area. It's a brand new subdivision. And it was under market rent, and I could have easily turned that thing. I had people that wanted to give me, $2,000 down, $5,000 down. I had one guy that was willing to give me $15,000 down for a lease option in that particular subdivision. Like I said, these were pretty high-end homes. Should have done that. So anyway, can't look at the past and look at the future. But what I learned from that experience was to, if it was a great deal, just tie it up. Just tie it up. If I would have put the money down, I would have been scot-free on that property. Anyway, this is Ryan Nichols signing off for another episode of Bootstrap Real Estate Investor.